In- oh. Hello, welcome to Android tutorial for beginners. In this video, we are going to see how to create a sample Android applications using Eclipse IDE. Next, steps to create a Android application. The first step to create a simple Android application using this Eclipse IDE is go to File, New, Project and finally select Android New Application Wizard from the wizard list. Now name your application as Hello World using this wizard window as shown in the screenshot. And then click Next and follow the instruction provided. Keep all other entries as default till the final step. Once your project is created successfully, you will have the following project screen as shown in the screenshot. Next, we are going to see the anatomy of Android application. Before you run your app, you should be aware of few directories and files in the Android project. In the Project Explorer, there is a folder called Source. This contains the .java source files for your project. By default, it includes a main activity.java source file having an activity class that runs when your app is launched using the app icon. Then gen. Gen contains the .r file, a compiler generated file that reference the resource found in your project. You should not modify this file. Next, bin. This folder contains the Android package files .apk built by the ADT during the build process. Everything else needed to run an Android application. Next, res folder. It is a resource folder. This is the directory for drawable objects that are designed for high density screens. This is for res drawable HTTPI. Next, resource layout. This is the directory for files that define your app's user interface. Then resource values. This is the directory for other various XML files that contain a collection of resources such as strings and colors definition. And finally, Android manifest.xml file. This is the manifest file which describes the fundamental characteristic of the app and defines each of its component. Next, we are going to see what are the necessary files are needed to create an Android application. So the first is main activity file. This code is a Java file. This is the actual application file which ultimately gets converted to Dalvik executable and runs your application. Following is the default code generated by the application wizard for Hello World project. Here, the r.layout.activity main refers to the activity main.xml file located in the resource layout folder. And the onCreate method is one of many methods that are fired when an activity is loaded. Main activity is a class name that is extended from the subclass activity we already seen in the previous video. The syntax of the activity. Next file is manifest file. Whatever component you develop as a part of your application, you must declare all its component in manifest file. Call this Android manifest.xml, which resides at the root of the application project directory. These files work as an interface between the Android OS and your application. So, if you do not declare your component in this file, then it will not be considered by the OS. This is the default manifest file as shown in the screenshot. Here manifest is the root tag and the package name as mentioned as com.example.helloworld and version code is 1 is default and Android version name we declared it as 1.0. And the minimum SDK version and target SDK versions all are declared in the manifest file. Next, the application tag encloses the components related to the application. In this application tag, the attribute Android icon will point to the application icon available under resource drawable HTTPI. The application uses the image named iclauncher.png is located in the drawable folder. Next, the Android label is nothing but the name of your app and the theme, whatever you want, you give it. Next, the activity tag is used to specify an activity. An Android name attribute specify the fully qualified class name of that activity subclass. And the Android label attribute specify a string to use a label for that activity. You can specify multiple activities using activity tag. So all other activities are mentioned in this manifest file. The action for intent filter is named android.intentAction.main to indicate that these activities serve as an entry point for the application. And the category for the intent filter is named android.intent.category.launcher to indicate that the application can be launched from the device launcher icon. So this is the activity that contain the intent filter with main and launcher, so that activity is to be executed first. Next, what are the tags that are used in manifest file? The list of tags which will used in your manifest file to specify different Android application components. These are activity, service, receiver, that for broadcast receiver, and provider, that is content provider. We already seen in the previous video itself. Refer my previous video. Next, we are going to see the string file. Strings.xml file is located in the resource values folder. It contains all the text that your application uses. For example, the name of button, label, default text, and similar type of strings go into this file. This file is responsible for the textual content. For example, a default string file will look like as shown in the coding. String name, the name of the string is app name, the value is hello world. Wherever you use the name app name, hello world is called. Next, OR file. OR file is a compiler generated gen file. This is the OR file for the hello world program. It is gen/com.example.helloworld /or.java file is the glue between the activity Java files like main activity.java and resources like string.xml. It is an automatically generated file. You should not modify the content of or.java file. So it is a compiler generated file, so we cannot modify it. It is act like a interface between the activity Java files and the string.xml file. This is the OR file generated for the hello world program. Next, layout file. The layout file is nothing but a design file. All the designs, text, buttons are included in the layout file. The activity main.xml is a layout file available in res layout directory that is referenced by your application when building its interface. You will modify this file very frequently to change the layout of your application. For this hello world application, this file will have this content related to the default layout. Here we use only the text view for print the hello world. Here we use the native layout. Let me see the layout detailing in future videos. Text view is an Android control is used to build the GUI, and it has various attributes like Android layout width, Android layout height, etc., which are being used to set its width and height. Add string refers to the string.xml file that is located in the resource values folder. Hence, the string hello world that refers to the hello string that is defined in the string.xml file. It is nothing but the string hello world. And finally, when you run your project in your Eclipse IDE, it shows the output as following. So to run the app from the Eclipse, open one of your project activity files and click run icon from the toolbar. Eclipse install the app on your AVD Android virtual device and starts it. If everything is fine with your setup and application, it will display the emulator window. So in this tutorial we saw how to create an Android application in Eclipse IDE by adding a simple text view. I hope this tutorial may help you. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel for more videos.